the introduction, the chasm between us. Sometimes it felt like my soul was suffocating me, like the very things that I longed for, love, connection, the kind of union I'd always dreamed of, were consuming me from the inside out. It wasn't an easy battle to feel so deeply and so powerfully, and yet, like the very thing that lit me up also threatened to drown me. The love, the magic, the connection, it was all so intoxicating, so real, but also so overwhelming. We had come together, drawn by some unseen force, and what a force it was. It wasn't just about the love in the way that people often spoke about it. It was a chasm that split us open, a space so raw and divine that it felt like both the greatest gift and the greatest sacrifice. To love like this, to be seen and known at this level, meant facing all of the pain we'd carried for lifetimes. It meant the deepest healing, and that kind of healing had a price. I was lost in a forest, standing at the edge of a chasm that threatened to swallow me whole. The darkness stretched endlessly before me, thick, heavy, a living thing pulling at my skin and tugging at my heart. The weight of it pressed into my bones, and I could feel the earth beneath me splintering, daring me to fall. I was so terrified of what would happen if I fell, but somehow even more terrified of what would happen if I stayed, frozen in this place, suspended between the two worlds. I wanted to scream, I wanted to run, I wanted to vanish into the trees to pretend I'd never wandered so far, to pretend that I'd never seen this place at all. But I couldn't move. I could only stand there, aching with all that had been lost, with all that had been found. Everything I'd once known, everything that once made sense had crumbled into dust at my feet. The life that I'd built before him, the walls I'd built to survive, the stories that I'd told myself to stay small, to stay safe, they were all gone. All I could do was stand there, feeling the sharp pull of the void, wondering if maybe falling was the only way forward. When we were together, it was as if the universe itself held its breath. Time felt suspended in the space between us. Every moment was a dance of magic, of light and dark, of pleasure and pain. Our connection wasn't easy, it wasn't neat, it wasn't simple, it was an unraveling. But in that unraveling, we found something more profound than either of us could ever have imagined. I could see his soul, I could feel it. It was in every glance, every touch, every breath that we shared. There was a pull between us, irresistible, magnetic, yet terrifying. It felt like we were both suspended in a moment of bliss, but also on the edge of falling into something that we couldn't fully control. It was in that space, in the tension, that we were forced to confront our truths that we long avoided. The pain wasn't the end, it was the beginning of becoming something more than we could have ever been, the activation of the part of us that had been waiting to heal, to grow and to merge. I'd never known a love like this, not in any of my relationships before. Not in any of the moments of my life that I thought had been meaningful. I'd always thought I understood love, but the truth was I hadn't even come close. The love we shared was not for the faint of heart. It was soul-shaking, earth-shattering. It was the kind of love that ripped you apart just so you had to be remade. Every time we came together, the chasm between us grew wider, and yet somehow it was the bridge that brought us closer. We were activating each other, igniting something within the other that had lain dormant for so long. It wasn't an easy love like this, and it wasn't without pain, but it was real, and it was worth it. Oh my God, it was worth it. In the moment between us, I would always wonder if he could understand the depth of this magic. Was it real for him too? Was he feeling the same pull, the same soul-crushing love? I could feel him, always. He's my soul's counterpart. And no matter how much I fought it, the truth would always find its way back to me. The separation wasn't necessary because we truly never left each other. The distance didn't matter because no matter where we were always tethered together. It was in those moments we grew stronger, both individually and as a unit, until the energy between us became something so undeniable, so potent that we couldn't help but become our truest selves. When we finally did come together in that way, we finally understood each other, when we finally became ourselves, fully and completed. It was more than just a reunion, it was the activation, a divine unfolding, and we both knew that in that moment that we were never meant to be anything but this. Maybe the chasm was never there to swallow me at all. Maybe it was there to show me that I could fly.